The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi children, welcome back to the class. Hope you all are doing well. Prevention is better than cure. Now you will be thinking, why I have said this right now, isn't it? Because in this situation, as this pandemic is in its peak stage, some of you may be going out for playing or for some other purposes, isn't it? So you have to go for playing, but follow the instructions given by the authorities. Okay, when you return back, sanitize yourself, protect others by protecting yourself. Okay, so now there is Shreya Sriram with me to give you a recap of what you have studied in the earlier classes. Okay.
Hi friends, I am Shreya Sriram from 9th. I am here to take you through the topics capillarity, surface tension, adhesive force, cohesive force, capillary rise and capillary depression. Capillarity. We all know that when we immerse a tissue paper in water, the tissue paper absorbs water. This is due to capillarity. The rise or depression of a liquid through a minute hole or a narrow tube is known as capillarity. Next, surface tension. The attraction of the molecules in the surface leads to the water to stretch like a membrane. This is known as surface tension. Soap decreases surface tension. Cohesive force. When we place 2 mercury drops in a glass paper and use a pencil to bring them together, it becomes a single drop. This is due to the attraction between the molecules of the same type. This is known as cohesive force. That is, the attraction between the molecules of the same type is known as cohesive force. Next, adhesive force. Let me give an common example. We used to wet our fingers when we count the currency notes. This is an example of adhesive force. The attraction between the molecules of different type is known as adhesive force. I hope all of you got an idea about these topics. Be healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
So we have studied about capillary rise and capillary depression, isn't it? So we can see which force is responsible for capillary rise. Okay, look at this figure. First figure, there is a body, tube and I have taken water levels. Okay, look at the muscles. It is the U shape, isn't it? So when you look at these two sides, you can see the level of water is slightly higher than the middle portion, isn't it? These two sides, the level of water is slightly higher. So can you tell me which forces experienced at these two sides? Which force is there at these two sides? Here, the force of attraction is between glass and the water. See that? The force of attraction is between the glass and the water. So here it is which force? Adhesive force. See that? What is adhesive force? It's a force of attraction between molecules of different types. So in this case, at these two sides, adhesive force is experienced. Okay, what about the middle portion? Here is the force of attraction between the water molecules. Okay, it is the force of attraction between water molecules, that is cohesive force, because it is the force of attraction between molecules of same type. Is it clear? So, can you tell me here which force is greater? Is it the adhesive force or cohesive force? Adhesive force or cohesive force? Look at the size. It is slightly higher. The water level is slightly higher. That shows adhesive force is greater than cohesive force. Okay. And which phenomena is taking place here? It is the capillary rise. So, when does capillary rise occur? Can you tell me? When does capillary rise occur? Capillary rise occurs when adhesive force is greater than cohesive force. Is it clear? Capillary rise occurs when adhesive force is greater than cohesive force. Is it clear? Now, take the second one, the case of mercury. What about the ministers? You can see the middle portion is slightly higher than the two sides. So at these two sides, which force will be experienced? Already I have told you, it is the force of attraction between the glass or the mercury and the glass. So it is adhesive force. And what about at the middle portion? It is the force of attraction between the mercury molecules. നടുഭാഗത്ത് മെർക്കുറി മോളിക്യൂൾസ് തമ്മിലുള്ള അട്രാക്ഷൻ ആണ്. പക്ഷെ രണ്ട് സൈഡിലും മെർക്കുറി ഗ്ലാസ് തമ്മിലുള്ള അട്രാക്ഷൻ ആണ്. Okay, and here you can see the middle portion is slightly higher. So here, can you tell me which force is greater? Yes, cohesive force is greater. And which phenomena is taking place in mercury? Already I have studied in the last class. It is capillary depression. Okay, so when does capillary depression occur? Yes, when cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. Okay, capillary depression occurs when cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. Is it clear? Now we have studied when does capillary rise and capillary depression occurs. So once again, capillary rise occurs when adhesive force is greater than cohesive force. Adhesive force greater than cohesive force. What happens? Capillary rise occurs. Okay, what about capillary depression? Capillary depression occurs when cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. Is it clear? Oh, now we can see whether there is any relation between diameter of the tube and capillarity. Okay, whether there is any relation between capillarity and diameter of the tube. Okay, now let's look at an experiment.
Yes, let's do an activity. Look at this. I have taken 3 capillary tubes of different diameter. Okay, the first one, the diameter is very less. Second one, it is more. The third one, the tube is having large diameter. Okay, so notice the difference in the diameter. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to immerse these 3 capillary tubes into a liquid. Okay, so these 3 capillary tubes are dipped in a liquid. So what will happen, tell me? Yes, this liquid rises through the capillary tube. Okay, the very thin capillary tube, it is named A, and the medium one B, and the large one, it is C. So can you tell me, in which tube will be the capillary rise will be greater? Can you tell me which capillary tube capillary rise is more? Just see. Yes, it is in A, isn't it? That is the capillary tube which has very small diameter. The second one, it is B. The third one, it is C. What may be the reason for the increase in the capillary rise in the small tube? Or what is the relation between capillary rise and diameter of the tube? As the diameter of the tube decreases, capillary rise increases.
Yes. What did you understand from that experiment? In which tube was the capillary rise greater? Yes, it is in the tube of smaller diameter. And in which tube the capillary rise was less? In the tube of greater diameter. Isn't it? So, can you tell me the relation between capillarity and diameter of the tube? What is the relation? Yes, when the diameter of the tube increases, capillary rise decreases. Okay, once again, when the diameter of the tube increases, what happens? Capillary rise decreases. Why? Have you ever thought what may be the reason for that? Okay, see, take the case of a tube with smaller diameter. Okay, വളരെ small diameter ഉള്ളതിന് എത്ര വെള്ളം കൊള്ളും? എത്ര ലിക്വിഡ് കൊള്ളും? വളരെ കുറച്ചായിരിക്കും അല്ലേ? Yes. So in the tube of smaller diameter, the weight of the liquid can hold also will be very less. കുറച്ച് ലിക്വിഡേ കൊള്ളും, കുറച്ച് വെയിറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവും. So what happens? And which force is responsible for this capillary rise? Yes, it is the adhesive force. Okay, and this force, this adhesive force depends upon the liquid. ഏത് ലിക്വിഡ് ആണെന്ന് ഡിപെൻഡ് ചെയ്യും. അതേപോലെ ഏത് സർഫസിലാണ് കോണ്ടാക്ട് വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത് അതിനെ ഡിപെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഈ ട്യൂബിൽ കൂടിയിട്ട് കയറി പോകുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇപ്പൊ വാട്ടർ കയറി പോകുന്ന പോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല വേറൊരു ലിക്വിഡ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡിപെൻഡ്സ് അപ്പോൺ ദ ലിക്വിഡ്. ഓക്കെ, അതേപോലെ ഈ ട്യൂബിൽ കയറി പോകുന്ന പോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല വേറെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു മെറ്റീരിയൽ ആണെന്നുള്ളത്. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? സോ ഇൻ ദ കേസ് ഓഫ് ദ capillary tube which is very thin or the diameter which is very less, the weight of the liquid contains also will be less. Okay, so what happens? And you know that this force is supported by the adhesive force. Because of this, the liquid rises up in the tube. ഒരു ചുമ്മാ ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയാം. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു 10 കിലോയുടെ ഒരു റൈസും തലയിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സ്റ്റെപ്പ് കയറി പോകാൻ പറയും. ഈസിയായി കയറി പോകും അല്ലേ? ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഓൺലി 10 kg. ബട്ട് വെൻ ഐ എം ഗിവിംഗ് യു എ 100 kg sack, will you be able to climb the stair? Maybe you will be climbing, but very slowly, isn't it? Because the weight of that sack is more. The same way, in the case of a tube with larger diameter കൂടുതലുള്ളതിൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? The weight of the liquid it contains also will be less. അല്ലേ? അതിൽ കൊള്ളുന്ന ലിക്വിഡിന്റെ വോളിയം കൂടുതലായിരിക്കും. So the weight will be more. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിൽ കൂടിയിട്ട് വളരെ സ്ലോ ആയിട്ട് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? ആ ലിക്വിഡ് കയറി പോകുന്നത്. Is it clear? So what is the relation between capillary rise and diameter of the tube? When the diameter of the tube increases, capillary rise decreases. They are inversely proportional. Is it clear? Now, when you look around, you might have seen the paddy fields and all will be blue. Like അത് കിളച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് കാണാം. എന്തിനാണ് അതിനെ കിളച്ചിടുന്നത്? ഈ വേനൽക്കാലത്തൊക്കെ ഈ പാടങ്ങളൊക്കെ കിളച്ചിട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് കാണാം. അതെന്തിനാ ആലോചിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ? Because when it is not plowed, what happens? The soil particles will be very close. Okay, അത് കിളച്ചിടാത്ത സമയത്ത് the soil particles will be very close. Okay, so what happens? It behaves like a tube of smaller diameter. Okay, അതിൽ capillary tubes ഒക്കെ അടുത്തടുത്തായിരിക്കും, so it behaves like a tube of smaller diameter. Okay, so what happens is underground water comes to the top, evaporates and goes. മനസ്സിലാകുന്നുണ്ടോ? ആ അണ്ടർഗ്രൗണ്ട് വാട്ടറിന്റെ ഇവാപറേഷൻ തടയാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ അതിനെ കിളച്ചെടുക്കുന്നത്. So at that time what will happen? The soil particles, the distance between the soil particles increases. So it behaves like a tube of larger diameter. So what happens to capillary rise? Capillary rise decreases. For that, the paddy fields are plowed during summer season. Is it clear? Okay. We will be moving to the next topic, viscous force. So, before discussing what is viscous force, let's do an experiment. Let's do an experiment. Okay. So, I have taken a glass plate. This is honey, glycerin. This is actually water. To make it visible, I have added potassium permanganate. Okay, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഗ്ലാസ് പ്ലേറ്റിൽ വെച്ചാൽ കാണില്ല. Okay, and this is kerosene. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to take these things. അതായത് ഇതെല്ലാം ഓരോരോ ഡ്രോപ്പ് വീതം ഞാൻ ഈ ഗ്ലാസ് പ്ലേറ്റിൽ വെക്കാൻ പോവാണ്. Okay, so first let me take glycerin. Okay, this is glycerin. Glycerin വെച്ചു. ഓക്കെ, അടുത്തത് കുറച്ച് ഹണി, ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് സെയിം ലെവലിൽ തന്നെ വെക്കുക കേട്ടോ. ദെൻ ഐ ആം ടേക്കിംഗ് water, okay, at last kerosene. All are kept at the same level. Okay, ഇനി എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പോവാണ്? Just we can tilt this glass plate. See the movement of the drops. Okay, is it clear? എല്ലാ ലിക്വിഡ്സും ഒരേ ലെവലിലാണോ വരുന്നത്? ഒരേ ഫാസ്റ്റിലാണോ വരുന്നത്? അല്ല അല്ലേ, നമുക്ക് കാണാം. ഇപ്പം ഇതന്നെ നോക്കിയാൽ മതി. ദിസ് ഇസ് ഹണി ആൻഡ് ഗ്ലിസറിൻ. നോക്കൂ, ഹണി ഫ്ലോസ് വെരി സ്ലോലി, isn't it? So what may be the reason for the difference in the speed of these liquids? Okay, so we will discuss that. So now I am going to place each drop in this piece of tile. Okay. So first I am taking glycerin. Okay. Next I am going to take honey. Okay. Next, I am taking little water. At last, kerosene. Okay. എല്ലാം ഒരേ ലെവലിലാണ് വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്, ഒരേ ലൈനിലാണ് വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. Just tilt this plate. Are these liquids moving at the same speed? No, isn't it? Just take this case. Honey flows very slowly, isn't it? What about glycerin? Compare these two liquids, glycerin and honey. ഹണിയാണല്ലേ ഏറ്റവും സ്ലോ ആയിട്ട് ഒഴുകി പോകുന്നത്. ഗ്ലിസറിൻ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ഫാസ്റ്റായിട്ട് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്, അതിനെക്കാട്ടിലും കുറച്ചും കൂടെ സ്പീഡായിട്ട് വാട്ടർ ആൻഡ് കെറോസിൻ ഇസ് മൂവിങ്. What may be the reason for the difference in the speed of these liquids? So we will study about this in detail. From this experiment, we have seen the liquids, that is the honey, glycerin, kerosene and water flows at different speed, isn't it? What may be the reason for this? Think. What may be the reason? When these liquids are flowing through this tile, which force comes into play between the liquid and this tile? അതായത് ഈ ടൈലിൽ ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ കണ്ടുവല്ലോ അല്ലേ, അതിന് കൂടെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒഴുകി വരുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇതിന്റെ ഇടയിൽ ഒരു ഫോഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഏതായിരിക്കും? when it is moving, when it is flowing through that tile, which force comes into play? ഏതായിരിക്കും? Yes, it is the frictional force. Okay. So when these liquids flow through that tile piece, there is a frictional force between the tile and the liquid. Okay. So there is a frictional force between these two plates. Besides this frictional force, there is a frictional force between the layers of the liquid. അതായത് ഈ ഫ്രിക്ഷണൽ ഫോഴ്സ് കൂടാതെ ഈ ലിക്വിഡിന്റെ ലേയേഴ്സിന്റെ ഇടയിലും എന്തുണ്ട്? ഒരു ഫ്രിക്ഷണൽ ഫോഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, ഈ ഫ്രിക്ഷണൽ ഫോഴ്സ് ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ടാണ് there is a change in the speed of flow of the liquid. Okay, and what this frictional force is doing? ഈ ലേയേഴ്സിന്റെ ഇടയിലുള്ള ഫ്രിക്ഷണൽ ഫോഴ്സ് എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? It tries to oppose the relative motion of the liquid. Okay, it tries to oppose the relative motion of the liquid. അതായത് ആ ഒഴുകി പോകുന്നതിനെ ഒന്ന് ഒപ്പോസ് ചെയ്യണം, തടഞ്ഞു നിർത്തുകയാണ്. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? ഈ ലിക്വിഡ്സ് പല സമയത്ത് ഒരേ ടൈമിലല്ലാതെ പല സ്പീഡിൽ ഒഴുകി വരുന്നത്. So what do we call that force? That is known as viscous force. Okay, so shall we define viscous force now? Okay, so what is viscous force? Between the layers of a liquid in motion, there is a force, there is a frictional force which tries to oppose the relative motion of the liquid. This is known as viscous force. Okay, so once again, between the layers of a liquid in motion, there is a frictional force parallel to the layers which tries to oppose the relative motion of the liquid. This force is known as viscous force. By heart ചെയ്ത് പഠിക്കണ്ട, try to understand and study. Okay, so once again, between the layers of the liquid, ഈ ഓരോരോ ലിക്വിഡിന്റെ ലേയേഴ്സിന്റെ ഇടയിലും ഏത് ഫോഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്? There is a frictional force. Okay, and what this frictional force is doing? ഈ frictional force എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? It tries to oppose the motion of the liquid. Okay, ആ ലിക്വിഡിന്റെ മോഷനെ ഫ്ലോവിനെ ഒപ്പോസ് ചെയ്യണം. That force is known as viscous force, and the property of that liquid is known as viscosity. So what is viscosity? Viscosity is the property of a liquid. Liquid in the property ആണ്. എന്തിനെ? To oppose the relative motion of the liquid. Is it clear what is viscous force and viscosity? Oh, so can you give me some examples of liquids whose viscosity is greater than water? Now itself we have done an experiment, isn't it? So name some liquids whose viscosity is greater than water. Yes, honey, glycerin, ghee, isn't it? What about liquids whose viscosity is less than water? Kerosene, petrol, diesel, etc. Okay, so next is viscous liquids. Okay, liquids whose viscosity is greater than water. So what do we call the liquids whose viscosity is mobile liquids. Okay, so what are mobile liquids? Liquids whose viscosity is less than water. Understood the difference between viscous liquids and mobile liquids? Liquids whose viscosity is greater than water are known as viscous liquids, and whose density is less than water are known as mobile liquids. Isn't it? Okay. So, one more question. Can you change the viscosity of a liquid by giving temperature? Once again, can you change the viscosity of a liquid by applying or by giving temperature, by giving heat? But true. Let's see one more experiment. Okay. Let's do one more experiment. Okay. Here what I am going to do is, I am going to heat the honey. Okay. അപ്പോൾ ഈ തേനിനെ നമ്മളൊന്ന് ചൂടാക്കും. ഈ ചൂടാക്കിയതിൽ നിന്ന് ഒരു ഡ്രോപ്പും അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഈ ഹണി രണ്ടും ഓരോരോ ഡ്രോപ്പ് വീതം നമ്മൾ ഈ പ്ലേറ്റിൽ, അതായത് ഈ ടൈലിന്റെ ഈ പീസിൽ വെക്കാൻ പോവാം. ഓക്കെ, ലെറ്റ്സ് ഹീറ്റ് ദ ഹണി. ഓക്കെ, ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക, ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം. ജസ്റ്റ് ഐ ഹാവ് ഹീറ്റഡ്. ദെൻ വാട്ട് വി ആർ ഗോയിങ് ടു ഡു ഇസ്, നമ്മൾക്ക് ഈ ചൂടാവാത്ത ഈ ഹണിയെ ആദ്യം ഒരു ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഇതിലേക്ക് വെക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, അടുത്തത് നമുക്ക് ഇതിന്ന് ചൂടായ ഹണി എടുത്തിട്ട് അതും ഇതിലേക്ക് വെക്കാം. ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ, നമുക്കതൊന്ന് slightly tilt this. Just see the movement of the honey. Are they moving at the same speed? No, isn't it? Which one is moving faster? The one which is heated, isn't it? So what happens to this honey when it is heated? What happened? What happens to the viscosity of that liquid on getting heat? Yes, when temperature increases, viscosity decreases. Okay, what did you notice? Yes, when the honey is heated, what happens? It flows very fastly comparing to the colder one. Like രണ്ട് ഡ്രോപ്പ് നമ്മൾ ഒന്ന് ഓർഡിനറി വെച്ചു, ഒന്ന് ചൂടാക്കിയതും വെച്ചു. ഏതാണ് ഏറ്റവും ഫാസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് മൂവ് ചെയ്തത്? The one which is heated. Clear? So what happens to the viscosity when it is heated? Viscosity decreases. Clear? അത് ഈസി ആയിട്ട് മൂവ് ചെയ്ത് പോയി. So what is the relation between temperature and viscosity? As temperature increases, viscosity decreases. Is it clear? When temperature increases, viscosity decreases. That is the reason why the heated or the hot honey moves very fast. Is it clear? Oh, so one more question. You might have heard, when a person gets an electric shock, what do you have to do first? That treatment. What do you have to do? You have to take an insulator. ഫുഡോ എന്തെങ്കിലും എടുത്തിട്ട് ആദ്യം അതിന്ന് ആളെ മാറ്റണം. ആദ്യം അതല്ല ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്വിച്ച് ഓഫ് ദ മെയിൻ സ്വിച്ച്. മെയിൻ സ്വിച്ച് ഓഫ് ആക്കണം. അതാണ് ആദ്യം ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? വേഗം എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു സാധനം എടുത്ത് ആളെ ആദ്യം തട്ടി മാറ്റി. Then what is the next step? We will massage the body. Why we are doing like that? Have you ever thought why we are massaging the body of a person who gets an electric shock? ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ടില്ല അല്ലേ? So I will tell you. So what happens when a person gets electric shock? The body temperature decreases. Okay, the body temperature of a person who gets an electric shock decreases. Okay, so what happens to the viscosity of the blood? Viscosity of the blood increases. അതായത് നമ്മുടെ ബോഡി ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ കുറയാണ്. So the viscosity of the blood increases. blood will not be flowing properly. Correct item, flow area, block up, and as a result, person can get heart attack. Okay, so when you massage the body, what happens? The temperature of that body increases. Okay, so what happens to the viscosity of blood? What is the relation between temperature and viscosity? When temperature increases, viscosity of the blood decreases. And what happens? The blood starts to flow at the normal speed. So we can protect, can save that patient. Understood? Why we are massaging the body of the person who gets an electric shock? In order to decrease the viscosity of the blood. As a result, the blood flow becomes normal. Now we have understood, isn't it? Okay. So now, can you tell me what all things we have learned today? We have discussed on when does capillary rise or capillary depression occur. Next one, the relation between the diameter of the tube and capillarity. And third one, what is viscous force, what is viscosity, what are viscous liquids, what are mobile liquids, and finally the relation between temperature and viscosity. Okay, so now go through the video, and if you are having any doubts, you can contact me. Okay, so the first chapter is over. Okay, so we will be discussing the latest axis. So we will see you in the next class with a new chapter. Okay.